we wanted to really understand why people chose a space. Why do they choose to work at home? Why do they choose to work in a coffee shop? Why do they choose to go into an office? And it's that understanding of really drilling down as to when people have a choice, why do they choose it? And what can we learn? What can we learn from the coffee shop? What can we learn from the spaces that people worked in during COVID? The first thing that we found is that while we all suddenly got used to Teams and Zoom and using video conferencing, what's actually going on is that your brain is under a huge amount of stress because your brain's going, why have I got a face so close to me? It's such an unhuman interaction that our brain starts to compensate. The number one business issue that organisations are always talking about is how do we get people to return to the office? And going back to our research, what we found was that people had created better spaces in their own homes than what the commercial organisation, the office occupier, was offering them. So the most common thing is we have to get commercial office space to the standard that we create in our homes. And that's not just decoration. Everything in your home space, you have an emotional attachment to it. So to get people back into offices, maybe the conversation now all needs to be about experience, enjoyment. Because until we can start to get that much more emotional feel, the softer feel to the space, we're always going to be challenged that people aren't going to be prepared to put the commute in on an everyday basis if the space isn't as good and there's not in control as the spaces that they can create themselves.